Hi guys and welcome to my channel. My name is Beth and I am the Bookworm Trait. So it is Tuesday, so I'm starting the vlog off a little bit late, and I also missed vlogging last week. I've basically been having a lot of problems with my work setup and I've been in a lot of pain because of it. I'm not going to go into a whole load of detail because it's pretty boring, but basically I just haven't really felt up to doing anything once I finish work because I'm just in a lot of pain. I now have my work chair which I'm sitting on now, and I've shifted things around a little bit, so I am feeling a bit better. So hopefully I can vlog this week and it won't just be endless clips of me going, my neck hurts. Now, although I didn't vlog yesterday, I did finally finish a book, and that was Ink in the Blood by Kim Smejkal. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. So this was one of my 5-star predictions, but it did not get 5 stars. I think I am giving this 2 stars. So this book is about a girl called Cecilia, who is an Inkling, which is a type of acolyte type role for the religion in this book. And what they do is they can tattoo their body and then that tattoo transfers to someone else, and it's supposed to be a message from their god. Cecilia and her best friend Anya, who's also an Inkling, don't believe in this god. They believe the religion to be corrupt, and so they basically run away and they join a troupe of travelling actors, and the deity's not too happy about them running away. This is billed as a kind of dark queer fantasy, and it's not. Whilst there is a diverse cast and the world that this is set in has a lot of non-binary representation in it and a lot of queer representation in it, our main characters and the main love romance situation is not queer, which is fine. It's just not what I was expecting. The writing is also, and I don't know what it is, but I really did not enjoy the writing for this book. I found it very difficult to actually concentrate on the sentences, and it was weirdly forgettable. Like, I would read a page, I would be paying attention to the page that I was reading, and then I would be like, I don't remember what I just read. Like, I finished this yesterday and already I'm struggling to remember what the whole plot of this book was. So this was really disappointing. I won't be continuing with the series. I'm not interested in it. On top of that, the ending for this book was probably one of my least favourite endings of all time. I don't want to spoil it just in case anyone is interested in it, but I just felt like one of the characters in this book was really mistreated and used as a plot device, and yeah, it was bad. There's a lot more I could say about this, but I don't want to talk about it anymore. I just want to forget that this book ever existed. This one's going to the charity shop. I am still reading Crescent City. I haven't made any progress since I last talked about it. I don't really know what to do with this. I am obviously struggling to read it. It's the size of it I think is really putting me off because I enjoy the story, and I don't know what to do because I'm now at the point where I'm not going to get anything else read off my TBR if I keep focusing solely on this. So I will be picking up another book to physically read this week, which will either be All the Ugly and Wonderful Things or Get a Life, Chloe Brown. It's just going to depend what I'm in the mood for. So it's going to be quite nice to be able to mood read, and they are quite different. So we have Get a Life, Chloe Brown, which is a romance, and we have All the Ugly and Wonderful Things, which is like a drama. I don't know, like literary fiction. It's not literary fiction, I don't think. I don't really know what genre this is. Finally, I am also reading an ebook. It is called, I don't know what it's called. I'll put a little picture of it up. I can't remember what it's called. It is the third in the Wicked Villains series by Katie Roberts. I'm about 85% of the way through, so I'll probably finish this either tonight or tomorrow. but I'm enjoying this so far. This one follows Hook and Tinkerbell, or Tink. I'm not really going to get into what this is about because I just can't really be bothered to explain it. It's going to take quite a while. When I finish it, I might go through it then, but I have to like explain the world to be able to explain the plot, because it is like the third book in a series, and you know. And I've just started an audiobook called Kings, Queens and In-Betweens. I forget the name of the author for this book as well. This is a book about a mixed race lesbian girl who somehow gets into drag culture. I don't know how, I haven't got to that bit yet, but I think I'm about 3 chapters of the way in and I'm enjoying it so far, but obviously it's very early days, so we'll see how we get on with that. I'm really hoping that this is going to be a good reading week for me. I have been struggling a bit, but I have really been feeling in the reading mood lately. The only problem that I'm going to have is that I'm also really in the mood for playing Sims, which means I'll probably like just lose a whole load of time, because the minute I turn the Sims game on, nothing else is going to happen. I'm just going to be playing Sims. I won't be able to stop. So yeah, we're going to have to just deal with that. Anyway, I am going to go back to work now that I have my new chair, and hopefully I'm not going to end the day in agony. That's going to be good. So it's Wednesday. I've had a really nice afternoon. My work system's crashed, so I haven't had any work to do, which has been lovely. I could and should have spent that time reading, but I didn't because this is me. I spent that entire time downloading custom content, so literally like 2 hours I've spent downloading custom content for Sims, because I'm just in a bit of a Sims mood at the moment. But I have got a couple of things that I want to update you on anyway. First one being Crescent City, which I have not picked up for I think 2 weeks now. I've decided that I'm going to try and read this as an ebook, because I'm not motivated to pick this up, even though I'm enjoying the story. And I finished my ebook last night, so I don't have one. I started one last night, but I'm not really enjoying it, so I think I'm just gonna move on to this on ebook, and hopefully that's just gonna work out a little bit better for me. So I finished my ebook last night. The book is called A Worthy Opponent. I did just check because I couldn't remember again. And it's the 3rd book in the Wicked Villains series by Katie Robert. So I will now tell you what it's about, because I couldn't be bothered yesterday. This series is set in a fictional city called Carver City, and this fictional city is kind of split into different sections, each ruled by a different kind of criminal gang. And the books follow villainous characters from fairy tales, kind of repurposed to be romantic heroes and heroines. Not all of the characters are villains, so we have Hades, who is obviously a villain, but we have Meg in this book and Hercules in a book as well. So it's characters from the same fairy tales or myths or legends or whatever, but the villainous character isn't a villainous character, but some of the good characters might not be villainous either. Yeah. I really enjoy these books. They have a kinky side to them. I don't know, I'm not well versed on kink, so I couldn't tell you exactly. I want to say BDSM, but I don't know if that is right. There's also violence in them, and I think in every single book I've read in this series there have been deaths in them as well, and also domestic abuse, I think, has been in all 3 books that I've read so far as well. Off the page domestic abuse. I really enjoy this series. There is one more out at the moment, which is The Beast, which I'll probably pick up soon, and there's 2 more to come out. I think they come out this year as well. I would probably rate the book between like 3 and 4 stars. I don't think they are the best books. Plot wise, they're very predictable. I think sometimes there's a little bit too much sex in them because you kind of get a bit desensitized to it, but I enjoy them. They're quick reads, they're enjoyable reads, so I would recommend them, but just be aware that there are darker romantic elements to them. The book that I just read was about Hook, so Captain Hook and Tinkerbell. It had arranged marriage in it, and I think that was kind of the main trope. Enemies to lovers, kind of a little bit. Tink has run away from her ex-boyfriend Peter, who was incredibly violent towards her, and made a bargain with Hades to keep her safe for 5 years in exchange for 5 years service. She has now been released from this contract and Peter is out to get her again. So she ends up getting into an arranged marriage with Hook to protect her. So he's going to protect her, and in payment she will be used as bait to draw Peter out, because obviously Hook wants to kill Peter. As I said, 3.5 stars, good book, enjoyed it, nice, quick, easy read. It is what it is, you know? So because I have decided that I'm no longer going to read the physical version of Crescent City, it does mean that I'm going to pick up another physical book. I did say I was kind of deciding between two in my last update, and I've decided to go with All the Wonderful and Ugly Things, mainly just because this is just such a nice floppy paperback and I just want to read it. So I am going to read this while my Sims game boots up. It will take, I've got a lot of mods and stuff on it, so it will take like 10 minutes or so to actually boot up, and then whilst I play it I am going to watch some booktube, because I feel like that kind of counts as reading, right? Kind of. Just a quick update. I managed to read 2 chapters of this before my Sims game loaded, and I'm already really emotional. I think this was a good choice. I think this is going to be a really fast-paced read. The writing is super easy to absorb. The story so far is really interesting, but I know this is going to really affect me. So yeah. So it's Thursday, and I don't know if this is going to come across on the camera, I have literally got the darkest, heaviest bags that I have ever had in my life. Like, in real life I look so rough and so haggard right now. It's not a good time. I have insomnia. I've had it, I don't know, as long as I can remember. I've had it since I was a child. Tried many different remedies for it. I'm not allowed to take sleeping tablets, so I can't have those. Nothing works. I've tried like all of the apps. I've tried meditating, I've tried herbal remedies. Yeah, it's just something that I live with. The past like 2, maybe 3 weeks have been really, really bad. So my insomnia takes a couple of different forms. So I either have not physically being able to fall asleep, and I also have not being able to stay asleep, so waking up often through the night. Usually it's one or the other. At the moment I am not falling asleep, and when I finally do fall asleep I'm then waking up consistently throughout the night, and then I'm also waking up really early in the morning as well. So I'm due a crash soon, so I will probably I can feel it coming, so I'll probably like end up going to sleep at 7 p.m. one day and waking up at like 10:30, and then I'll be fine, but I'm just waiting for it to come. So I just wanted to address why maybe I am a bit low energy right now and why I look so bad. My insomnia does stem from anxiety, and I just think with everything that's going on in the world right now, I'm just struggling a little bit. I feel alright in myself. I'm just like, obviously that is how my anxiety is manifesting itself right now, so fun times. So I do have a tiny little bookish update. I have read, I think, 5 pages of this book now, and okay, I'm really enjoying this book. This book is very well written. It's very, what word am I looking for? I can tell it's going to be a very sad book. I think it has the potential to be a 5-star read, but I am not sure where the romantic aspect is going. Now, I don't know if I've made this clear, this is not a romance, although it is a story about a romance between an older man and a younger girl. And I was aware going into this that it was an inappropriate romance. I was expecting something like a 15-year-old and a 25-year-old. Not saying that's okay. I'm just saying that's what I went into this expecting. I don't know how old the guy is. I forget his name. I think it's Kellen. I don't know how old he is supposed to be. I'm guessing he is in his 20s, but Wavy is 8, and I'm expecting that the relationship is not going to start when she's 8. I'm thinking it's maybe going to be like 13, which is incredibly uncomfortable to think about reading. I think ultimately this is going to come down to how that relationship is dealt with, because I think it's something that happens and I don't really know how to talk about this, so I'm just going to talk about it from my own experiences and how I felt growing up as a teenage girl. And I came from a very loving and stable home, which Wavy doesn't have in this situation. I was very developed as a young woman. I looked young, and very, very young, but my body was very developed, shall we say, without going into graphic detail. And so at a very young age, I began to experience interest from older men. And at the time, I saw that as very flattering. I thought it was really cool that I was 13, 14 and there were guys that were like 18, 19, 20 who wanted to date me. Now, as an adult, I can see that that is fucked up, but as a kid, I didn't see that. Now, if that is how the relationship comes across in here, where we as a reader can clearly see that it's abuse, then fine. I worry that it's not going to be dealt like that though, because they are kind of dropping hints that Kellen might have some kind of learning difficulties. I don't think they're ever going to explicitly say what those learning difficulties are. Whatever difficulties he might have as a character, he clearly is aware enough to know that a child is a child. So I'm like reserving judgment because there is no romance yet. I do, you know, irregardless of how the subject matter is dealt with, I can say that this is very well written. It's a very quick and easy read. Like, I'm exhausted and I quite easily read 75 pages, like just reading a chapter here and there. This does have like a interview with the author in the back, so once I finished it I will read that as well, just so I have complete clarity on it. So yeah. So it's Saturday. I didn't vlog yesterday because I was really not very well. Just when my insomnia is really bad, my health then suffers because I'm so run down. And yesterday was just not a good day. Yeah, I don't really want to say more than that about it. I don't want to be like this vlog just to be about me moaning about how tired I am. So let's just say I'm really tired. I want to try and still be productive today because that will help. Oh, I don't know what's going on with my hair. The more active, physically and mentally I am, the better and the quicker I tend to move out of these periods. So I'm going to go to the garden centre in a little bit. I really want to get a peony. I moved into a new build last year, so the garden was literally like just a big patch of lawn, so we're trying to like bring some personality to it. After that, my goddaughter is coming over and we're going to babysit her for a little bit. The weather's quite nice, so we'll have a barbecue and sit in the garden because social distancing. I've also decided that I am going to participate in NaNoWriMo next month. I wasn't going to this year just because the past couple of weeks, months, I don't know, the past while, I have no muse, like I cannot write. I just kind of thought maybe that's the push that I need to be a little bit more productive. So on to reading. So I have read some more of this book and I just want to say before I start talking about it that I am going to be talking about not paedophilia per se, but I am going to be talking about an inappropriate relationship between an older man and a younger girl, and just be aware that's what I'm about to talk about. If that is triggering for you, I will put a timestamp to where I move on from this, because I understand that this is quite a delicate topic. Kellen and Wavy's relationship, so at the point that I'm up to, I think she is 12, 11 or 12, and although there hasn't been anything that you could say if you witness these situations, there's nothing that you could actually go and report to social services or to the police and say this man has an inappropriate relationship with this little girl. You would definitely have the feeling that this is not right. When Wavy is around 9, Kellen goes to her house, sneaks into her bedroom window to give her a present, and then he gets into her bed and they fall asleep. And there isn't anything inappropriate, but he does wake up with an erection, and obviously that is really uncomfortable. Second of all, Wavy refers to him as her boyfriend. Now, I feel like it's quite normal for kids to like have crushes on adults and to refer to adults as their boyfriend, but the way that Kellen reacts to it is not like, oh, this cute little girl has a crush on me, bless her heart. It's like, oh, I'm her boyfriend, like, she loves me. So it's very uncomfortable to read. And just to reiterate again, my fear is that this is not going to be dealt with as a situation where it's child abuse. I feel like it's going to be romanticised, and that's not going to be okay with me. Another thing that made me kind of uncomfortable is Kellen is either full or like half Native American, and I haven't read many books with Native American characters in them. The ones that I have read are like from the 70s or the 80s, and they are a very, I don't know if this is a word, but I'm going to say like exoticized version of a Native American. They are kind of reduced to a stereotype rather than being an actual physical human being. They are, you know, like a headdress wearing, war painted savage. So this depiction of Kellen, he is a very realised person. He's a very deep and well written character, despite, you know, my issues around the morals of his character. He is still a well written character, and I just think it's really sad that the only Native American character that I have read that is treated like a human also happens to be a paedophile. And I don't understand why that choice was made. No one else is Native American so far anyway in the book. I don't know, it's just it's very strange to me. It would be like if you had a book and every character in it was white, accept like the one violent character or the one poor character. It's just there's other bad characters in this book, but he is the only one that's interested in a child, and everyone else is white except for him. I don't know, it's just, I don't know if I'm articulating exactly how I feel about it, because I am fucking tired, but I just think that was a really poor choice and it made me feel very uncomfortable. I've also been listening to more of Kings, Queens and In-Betweens. Whilst I am enjoying this book, I'm really struggling to connect with it. I think it's just, I don't tend to read YA contemporaries because I am not a teenager and I just cannot connect with that world anymore. I do think it is a really fucking good book, and it's kind of sad that it's not being talked about. Like, there's all these books by black authors, queer black authors, about queer experiences that I'm seeing flying around, and I haven't seen this one really talked about, which is a shame because it is really good. I don't know if I've really talked about what the book is about, so I'm going to do that now. If I have, I will just cut this bit out. So we follow a girl called Nima, and Nima is in love with one of her really good friends, Ginny or Jenny. I'm listening to the audiobook and I can't decide if it's Ginny or Jenny. Nima's mum has left, so one day she got up and her mum was gone, so she lives with her dad and has a best friend Charles, and she's been in love with this other girl Ginny for quite a long time, to like a kind of obsessive point, as you know teenagers can be. She decides that she is going to ask Ginny out. She asks her out and Ginny tells her she's not interested in girls. A couple of days later, or weeks later, I'm not sure, Nima is at a festival and she ends up going to a drag show where she meets a girl called Winnow, who is a drag queen. No, she's not, she's a drag king. I think the book is really interesting. I haven't read a book about drag culture. We also have a whole host of queer side characters. I don't want to go into who they are, into who all of them are, because some of it is spoilers. But she makes really good friends with a trans woman. I also think we have some mental health rep in here too, which hasn't really been analysed yet, but the way that Nima is responding to certain situations would indicate some kind of mental health issue. I'm not a doctor, I'm not going to try and diagnose her. I just think this would be a really good and important book for a lot of young people to read. There's people who are learning about their identity. There is another character who I don't know for definite, but I think is going to have some, feel like they are confused about their gender. I could be completely wrong, but that's the direction I think it's going in. For me, it's just not the book, but I can still see that it is a good book. Interesting, fun, with a lot of depth behind it. So I have actually bought it for my goddaughter to read. She is 12 or 11, I'm not sure, and is at the age where she is starting to read YA, so I am always kind of on the lookout for books that are YA but not too close to the adult side of YA, so they're still appropriate for her. I'm always on the lookout for good queer books for her as well, because she is interested in that, and we just want to make it clear that we are supportive of her. So yeah, she's getting that. And then I think I'm going to give her Ink in the Blood as well. I am never going to read this book again. I did not like this book, but I do appreciate that I am currently having just a lot of issues with YA. I just think I am past the point of enjoying YA books. Again, there's a lot of queerness in this book, and I think she will really like that aspect of it. And I think it is a good book. I just didn't enjoy it, and there was a lot of things that I didn't enjoy, but I probably would enjoy if I was 12 years old. Like, I am not 12, I have different reading taste to a 12-year-old. So I'm going to give her this. Sadly, Kings, Queens and In-Betweens did not come today, so she can't have that yet.
Hey, I heard you got a new best friend. Yeah, it hurts a bit, I won't pretend that it doesn't matter that you're with someone else. In a way, that's how it's supposed to be. If I'm unable to make you happy, then it's for the better that you are not with me. That's why I wrote you a letter, 'cause you see, I write so much better than I speak. And I need to tell you, you were my best friend till the end. I hope I'll be happy without you, but right now I don't know what to do. It's hard to get over, you chose someone else, a new best friend. Doesn't feel like it was long ago. We were head over heels in love, thought it'd last forever, but somehow we got lost. Looking back, I didn't realize what was wrong with me. I can't deny I took you for granted. You finally had enough.
So I'm feeling super awkward filming this. So I'm like sat in a car park, but I'm out for like most of this morning, so I need to film this now or not at all. I'm literally in a car park, there are people everywhere, and yeah, I feel pretty conscious of myself. So I just wanted to do a quick update on this. Where am I up to? I'm 150 pages in. I think this book is like 350 or 400 pages. I'm hoping to get over halfway through this today. It's getting to the point now in the book where other people are starting to recognise that Kellen's behaviour is maybe a little bit strange. But there was a poker game that Kellen was at with some friends, and one of the people there thought that the way he was acting towards Wavy was uncomfortable. Yeah, so Wavy is 11 or 12, and Kellen's either 24 or 26. I can't remember the exact age. As of yet, the relationship hasn't really like crossed into barriers of being inappropriate. I mean, it's inappropriate, but it's not crossed a line where, as I said before, that you could kind of report him for the way that he is acting. But it's definitely crossed into a line where it is noticeably inappropriate. So I think we're probably going to get to something in the next couple of chapters. I think going into this knowing that there is this inappropriate relationship definitely changes the way that I am reading the book. If I went into this without that idea, I would probably read it as Kellen being unfairly judged for taking an interest in a child and wanting to care for the child. I don't really know if I'm making any sense because I feel so uncomfortable right now. I think what I'm trying to say is if I didn't know what was going to happen, I would feel like this book is meant to show that it's not inappropriate for people to care and love children that aren't biologically theirs. But obviously I know that there's going to be more, and I'm looking at it through those eyes. I'm hoping that I'll have a bit more to say about it later on today when I've read a little bit more, because I think it's about to I think it's at a turning point right now. So I didn't get a huge amount of reading done yesterday because I ended up just being too busy. And my goddaughter wanted to play games with me, so I didn't do any reading. But it was a really good day and it was just really nice to see people. I gave her Ink in the Blood, and then she was telling me that she's reading Sherlock Holmes at the moment and how she loves mystery. So I also gave her Truly Devious, which I have read, but I didn't really like it. It's not really my kind of book, but she should like that. Okay guys, so it's Monday. I didn't wrap the vlog up yesterday because I was hoping that I would finish, this is upside down. I was hoping that I would finish this. I didn't. I made it to page 294. So I've got just over 100 pages. I'm having so many like conflicting feelings about this that I'm not going to go into it all right now. I'm going to finish the book, which will be in next week's vlog, and take a couple of days to think about how I feel about it, look at some reviews, because it's just not that simple. On one hand, I think the depiction of what is going on in this book is very real. On the other hand, I don't know that I want it to be very real, so I'm not going to get into that now because it is going to be spoilers. So I would rather dedicate some time to it in the vlog when I've had a couple of days to think about it, a couple of days to digest. I'll probably need to like write some notes because so many feelings. So I am going to wrap this vlog up here. If you did make it to the end of this video, give me a like to let me know. And if you've read this book or either of the other books that I talk about in this video, then please let me know down in the comments below. And if you want to see more videos from me in the future, then please subscribe to my channel. But thank you for watching and bye.